Question 546. Have you ever made up with a nemesis and become friends?
Probably. I can't say of anything. I can't say of anything one in particular. Off the top of my, I mean, there's certain people I will never. Have just crossed the line with me that I would never fucking make up with them ever. But I'm generally kind of willing to forgive and forget and give people a second chance. But there are definitely people who've crossed the fucking line which I could never ever forgive.
Those people make the list.
Have you ever made up with a nemesis, Bill?
Yeah, a couple. There are a couple.
Would you say you're friends with them now?
Yeah, there is one particular person that I did not used to get along with at all that I am now friends with still.
It's not Math Pig, is it?
No, I've always got on with Math Pig. But no. But mainly because they've turned around and gone, "I'm really sorry, I was a complete dick," and I'm like, well, yeah, you were a complete dick.
Badger?
There's very few people that I feel strongly enough about negatively to call a nemesis. And I think to qualify for that distinction, they would have to have done something so heinous that is pretty much unforgivable. However, there is one person in a roleplay thing that I used to not get on with at all. I now get on with okay with.
Could you forgive the executives at Disney?
No.
Never.
Let me try this. If the executives at Disney were to immediately declare everything they've put out non-canon, start to do with Star Wars and all that now.
Do they have to reinstate the previous canon?
Yes, and they have to.
Oh, so you're admitting that they got rid of that canon?
I'm admitting that in their Disney canon, the things that I like are not canon.
You mean the official, the Disney?
Let me finish my sentence.
I think we should just take a shortcut and load the Disney executives into a canon.
Yes, that would be acceptable.
That would be Disney canon.
In order for me to forgive the Disney executives, they would need to immediately declare everything they have produced non-canon. Instate Legends continuity as official Disney canon, and start making stuff that is entirely consistent with Legends continuity. Then they would need to apologize for everything they've done previously and for dividing the fan base.
That's not going to happen.
Yes, so I'm not going to forgive them.
What I think they'll do, they'll scrap everything they've done and make that non-canon. Briefly reinstall Legends as official canon, and then reboot the entire franchise because
that sounds.
They're gonna do like Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
like reboot it every once in a while.
I'm fucking sure they will.
That's literally what they've already tried to do.
Yes, right. Brainbug says, "I've never had a nemesis. I guess there is still time." 9 o'clock Hero says, "No, they become dead to me." Paul says, "I tend to kill them all, so no, I haven't."
Well, see, that's the thing. Anybody who would have bothered me that much, I've generally cut off. But I think that part of the thing of somebody being a nemesis is having some kind of dynamic that you have to interact with them, even if you don't want to. I've only had one person that's fit in that category.
I was going to mention, actually, that to be a nemesis, I think there would have to be a level of... Even though there's dislike, there has to be a level of mutual respect that I don't think that any of the people that I feel strongly enough about to really dislike have. Because the people that I feel strong enough about to really dislike, I don't consider worth anyone's time interacting with.
Yeah, well, if you're going to put respect into it, yeah, that pretty much derails all of it.
I would prefer them to just cease to exist entirely.
That's but like that old adage, you actually have to care about someone to hate them.
Yes. Mr. Manda says, not friends, but the guy that gathered the IRA outside the club that night apologised and bought me a pint.
Wow.
Sammy says, I am good friends with someone I was a nemesis with most of my life. Jones says, define nemesis. It's being a bit hyperbolic. It basically means someone you didn't get on with a lot. Jones says, the closest that comes to my mind is myself. No, Badger's chapter in...
I'll let you read that, Dave.
Easy mistake. Nerdy does write some fan fiction porn. Badger's chapter in the fiction takes place in the Disney Star Wars universe, by the way.
Of course it does.
He has to be related to two characters that it is impossible for him to be related to.
I will literally come to your house. I will dig all of your foundations away. And I will flatten you with a wrecking ball with Jar Jar taped to it.
By the way, why are you going after Nerdy? That's Sammy who put that in.
Because Nerdy's writing it and he will fucking put it in there.
Nerdy's not here today. You're lucky he's not hearing it.
Sammy, then you get the same treatment. You get it for coming up with the idea, and Nerdy gets it for putting it in.
Someone will tell Nerdy about this, though.
Sammy, it has to be around. It has to be in the events of Episode 8, The Last Jedi, as well. Just for the records.
So it has to be Chapter 8 as well, then.
Yeah, it has to.
You just got rid of Badger. I've never seen him turn his thing off.
Poor Badger. He's so mean to him.
That was the thing. But Seraphim's is missing too.
I don't have one. I couldn't figure out how to put one on here for this, so.
But you have in the past.
That was because I was on my phone. Apparently, it's a hell of a lot easier on the phone than it is on my laptop.
I'll tell you later.
It's just when you come into StreamYards before you enter the studio, there's a thing to edit your avatar.
You can change it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could change it on my phone whenever I was in the thing, but apparently on this side I'm not gonna bother. It's not.
You can change it now, but I can't. Someone else have to talk you through it that's got one because I'd have to turn mine off for me to see exactly where it is.
We just lost Seraphim.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe she stepped out to put her avatar in.
Yeah.
You pressed something, didn't you?
I did, yes.
I've got a couple.
I was trying to move my mouse. I pressed the button.
I've got a couple there, so yeah.
That's what I get for having a gaming mouse, but oh well.
Nerdy! Now someone needs to tell Nerdy what we were just talking about.
Nerdy, hi!
Nerdy's in the chat.
Squeak, squeak, Nerdy.
Right, Nerdy, you need to include Chapter 8. Right, next question.
I figured it out.
You figured it out? What?
Well, look.
I have no idea what that is. It looks like you with your hand stuffed in the coat.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, it's a new avatar, but I can't really make it out well.
And I guess Dave doesn't want to hear my answer to the question. I feel hurt.
Oh, what was your answer?
I have the girl that
I got thrown by you disconnecting.
It's fine. It's fine. The girl who bullied me all through high school and middle school did apologize to me and tell me why she bullied me. And
why did she bully you?
My first name is her middle name, and also she apparently was pissed because my hair was prettier than hers.
Uh-huh.
The shittiest, dumbest reasons ever, but she apologized.
And you became friends?
No, we became acquaintances. Fuck her.
Acquaintances. Fair enough.
You're more than acquaintances if you're fucking.
I mean, I would. She is hot.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.